Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I am Michael Pachter, your host at Michael Pachter on Twitter. You must be following me by now, but if you're not, please do. If you are watching real time on Patreon as a patron, we appreciate it. Thank you for your support. If you are watching on YouTube as a subscriber, thank you. Those two things cost money. So if you don't have any money, but you have an Amazon Prime account or your parents have an Amazon Prime account, open up a Twitch Prime account, you probably already have one, and link it to your Amazon Prime account. You get all sorts of cool stuff anyway, but we get money. So please link those two accounts, and the instructions are in the show description, and then we will get paid, and we'll give you early access. So you'll get this the same time as the paying customers, because we don't really care. We're mercenary. However Shane gets paid is good for me. I'm happy. Today's question comes from YouTube from Game Jack. What do you make of some of these retro games selling for insane amounts of money? Super Mario 64 is only 25 years old, and a mint copy sold for $1.5 million. Some investigations have concluded that they're money laundering schemes. What do you think? You know, that's actually interesting. When you say only 25 years old, I had an N64, and it never occurred to me to keep a game shrink-wrapped. Like, I just didn't do it, so I didn't have one. But give me a second. I just found this the other day. I was looking for this, and my wife moved it. I still have shrink-wrapped my Xbox 360 version of Red Dead Redemption. So I'm going to keep this 25 years and see if somebody will pay me $25 million or $1.5 million. I've got a shrink-wrapped, I forgot the name of the show, but the name of the game, but the baseball game made by 3DO. Remember that game?
Yeah. With
Kurt Schilling on the cover from 2004.
That's not worth anything.
Exactly. And I have one, the PC version with Sammy Sosa on the cover. You know, so which I think was like 97. So I've kept a whole bunch of old video games but I didn't think to keep Super Mario 64 game. Yeah, it's a good question about money laundering. And you know, it's funny. I'm working with a payment processor and going through all this, how hard it is, and we've been talking about payments for NFTs, and the key to NFTs is the N part. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And it's the non that matters, because if the token is fungible, you could absolutely launder money, right? Because you could buy a token and then convert it to cash, and then you could use illegally obtained cash, drug money or terrorist money or whatever, buy the token, then sell it for clean money, and that's the classic money laundering. But a non-fungible token, because what I just described is a fungible token. A non-fungible token, you just buy a lollipop hammer and Candy Crush. Well, you can take illegally gotten gains and buy a lollipop hammer and Candy Crush. Now, Activision isn't looking to launder your money, and they're certainly in the business. So all you got for your money was lollipop hammers and Candy Crush. But with NFTs, and a lollipop hammer is an NFT. With NFTs, I could create a piece of internet art and list it as an NFT. And if you're the only person who thinks it's worth anything, because I suck and I can't even draw a stick figure, if I sell it to you for $1.5 million, it could be you're a money launderer and I'm a terrorist organization. So you actually could transfer money that's against the anti-money laundering laws through NFTs. And that's why you're required to use a government-regulated payment processor. I'm working with a company called Tilia, but there are a bunch of them. But Venmo is one, right? So PayPal is one. Visa, MasterCard. All those guys are super regulated. So they're there. They exist to flag whether the transaction is money laundering. The point is that the Super Mario 64 game, I understand it was sold at auction. So it wasn't like a guy took this thing of no value, here's a coaster, give me $1.5 million for my coaster. That could be money laundering. But this guy said, no, I've got this old game that is shrink wrapped and in pristine condition, and I want you to buy it, and there was a competitive bid process for it. So I would say that particular example, that was competitive bid. Somebody else bid $1.4 million. So no, I doubt it was money laundering. It sounds crazy when you hear people paying a lot of money, and that's this NFT art thing. I did listen to the argument that, well, I can just take a picture, copy the file of the NFT, and then I own it. Well, you can take a photograph of the Mona Lisa and you own that too, except no one's going to pay for it, but you can. So the thing with these NFTs is you actually own the watermarked, blockchain stamped original, and it really is yours. And with the Mona Lisa, it's hanging on the wall in the Louvre, and you don't own it, and you take a picture of it. I mean, if you really want a picture of the Louvre of Mona Lisa, you can take a picture. You can buy a print for probably $10. So yes, you can copy anything, but the original has some intrinsic value to the buyer because it's the original. And the cool thing about these NFTs, they were created by somebody. They really are art. People don't seem to think that computer art's the same, but if you play video games, you understand that. It's truly art. Go watch a Pixar movie and tell me that that's not art. I mean, it absolutely is. So, I don't know. What do I think about them selling for insane amounts of money? I think that it's supply and demand. It's a profit deal. If there's not very many of those games in circulation, there's a lot of demand. They go for crazy prices. If there's never another $1.5 million auction of an item, maybe it was money laundering. But I think this was a legit auction house. So I don't know the answer for sure. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net, and especially if you are a Patreon patron and getting it real time, thank you for your contribution. If you are a YouTube subscriber, thank you. You're helping Shane, keep eating macaroni and cheese. And if you are neither of those, even if you are one of those, join your Amazon Prime account, link it to your Twitch Prime account, and Amazon will pay us and charge you nothing. So since it costs you nothing except reading the instructions below and clicking on the link, it's pretty easy. Do it, please. We get paid. And if you don't have Amazon Prime, which is your only excuse, and you don't have any money, which is your only excuse, then you're watching it for free on YouTube a week late. Follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. See you next time.